Ho ho ho, Merry Hackers. This is the QWERTY Sage channel, and this is day 12 of the Advent of Cybersecurity 2023 Challenge. Today we're going to explore defense in depth. Today is a interesting day because the topic is purple, denoting purple team. Some of the days we've done, the days have been highlighted red for red team. These are more hacking, offensive minded people doing exploitations and things of that matter, gaining access to systems that they shouldn't have access to. Some days are blue for defensive people securing systems, thwarting the efforts of red teamers and hackers alike. But today is purple, so we're going to be doing a little bit of attacking. We're also going to be doing a little bit of defense. Um, Slaying the threats one layer at a time. Let's get into it. With the chaos of the recent merger, the company's security landscape has turned into the Wild Wild West. Servers and endpoints, once considered fortresses, now resemble neglected outposts of the frontier vulnerable to any attack. As McHoneybell shifts through the reports, a sense of urgency gnaws at her. This is a ticking time bomb, she mutters to herself. It's clear they need a strategy, and fast. Determined, McHoneybell rises from her chair, her mind racing with possibilities. Time to suit up, team. We're going deep, she declares, her tone a bend of resolve and excitement. Defense in depth is not just a strategy, it's our lifeline. We're going to fortify every layer from the physical servers in the basement to the floating clouds above us. Every bite, every bit. In this task, we're hoping and to make Honeybell's shoes and exploring how defense in depth strategy can strengthen the environment's overall security posture. We're going to talk about defense in depth, basic endpoint hardening, simple boot to root methodology. Um, so I've already did this lab and recorded it, but there were some issues with the recording. So I want to go over it again for you guys in a manner that's going to be palatable to digest. All right, so I already started the attack box in the machines, and the first thing that it wants us to do is to SSH into the terminal we're going to use for blue tanning with the admin super strong password 121. I hope I typed that in right. Okay, I did. All right. Mm. So we have our defensive terminal open. Now we're going to start at our attack chain. So our attack chain, we're going to exploit Jenkins, which is an application running on this server, which is made intentionally vulnerable just for the purpose of showing some of the many different ways an attacker can enumerate their attacks to get higher privileges and more sensitive information and so forth. So the thing it wants us to notice is if we go to manage Jenkins and you scroll down, This thing is vulnerable in the script console. This can execute Groovy scripts. Groovy scripts or a type of programming language for the Java platform. So we're going to copy and paste this information into it. And this should allow us to get a reverse shell. This is what a hacker would do. So our IP address is 10.10.251.234. Okay. So this is our hacker terminal. 996. Run this. Uh, wrong, wrong IP address. IP address. Want this IP address. All right. Paste this in. And run it again. And if all went well, the connection was received. Now we're going to start getting some information off this machine. It wants us to find this bash script located in ops scripts. So scripts ls cat to backup .ssh, and you notice some information here. Most notably the password, which is one of the questions. So we used the default port of 8080 and we got the password. Now that we're in as the user Tracy, the next thing it's going to want us to do is try to elevate our privileges to the root. The root account is the account on a Linux or Unix based system like Macs that has pretty much full control. So we do sudo.l/l or sudo su. All right. We need to open the terminal. We need the SSH as tracer using the password that we obtained. that was 10.10.251.234, I believe. Yeah. All right. It's gonna ask for the password. We're gonna type that password that we just saw in, and we also answered the question with. All right. And sudo -l. We'll type in the password again. And that just tells us the permissions. So now we're root. As you can see, it changed from Tracy to root. And that's pretty much the basics of the attack chain. Everything else we're gonna do is gonna be blue team. But while we're the attacker, let's go ahead and look for the root flag, which is in the home directory of root. So if I now that I'm root, if I do this, it should put me in the root's home directory. So we cat the flag.txt. And that's the flag. All right. So now that that's done, let's turn our attention to the blue teaming. The first thing it wants us to do is remove Tracy's ability to escalate it into the roots. We're going to do that with this command. We're going to sudo, and then we're going to delete the user Tracy from the sudo group. So sudo delete user Tracy from sudo group. And if we do sudo with the L flag and a U flag for user Tracy, Tracy is not allowed to run sudo on Jenkins. So we have tightened up the user permissions. That is one of the layers of the defense in depth. User permissions are very important. So if we come back and we try to do a sudo L as Tracy, I don't need three terminals. So SSH Tracy at 10.10.251.234. Tracy's password. Sudo L. Sorry, user Tracy may not run sudo on Jenkins. So we tightened up the security here. Now it wants us to tighten up the SSH because Tracy has a weak password, and we don't want anyone with a weak password. Just SSHing into into the boxes. So it wants us to go into this file. It wants us to uncomment out password authentication and change it to no. And it wants us to add a hashtag in front of the include here and then restart SSH. So CD to what was it? Etsy, Etsy, SSHD. Um, gotta type it in right. This was the SSHD config.d. I'll use Nano this time. I know you've seen me use VI and other instances, but I'll use Nano just to show. You can. Uh, um, wanted us to comment out this line. There's a line they wanted us to uncomment out. Authentication. Password authentication. No. No. And look, we also have a other flag. Need to secure this shell. So I'm gonna control X. I'm gonna save this. And if you're following along, just copy and paste into there. All right. So we're gonna restart the shell. Sudo systemctl SSHD restart SSH. Yeah, restart SSH. Okay, so if we come back here, exit, we'll try to permission denied public key. All right, so Tracy cannot SSH into the box anymore, as notated here. Stronger password policies. It's important to try to use strong passwords and implement strong password policies. In this case, we're not going to implement such a policy here, but it is definitely best practice to install that. Um, installing good plans and policies. So it wants us to cd into varlib Jenkins and look for config XML back. So cd for lib ls. I guess we'll use VI this time since we used Nano last time. Config SML that backup. And the things it wants us to do here, it wants us to remove the comments from this authorization strategy. So we'll remove this, and security realm, we'll remove that, and that. And then we'll copy the XML that back to the XML config.xml and restore Jenkins. Now, what this is going to do, at first when we logged into Jenkins, we did not get prompted for a login screen. This should force the login screen to come up. Oh, so notice this is a flag. So take note of this so you can copy and paste it into the answer for that appropriate flag. Okay, and we got it commented out. And I'm gonna hit escape, colon, WQ exclamation point, to write the file or quit. I want to move config.xml to move.config.xml. We're going to copy config.xml.back to config.xml. Then it said we're supposed to restart Jenkins. Systemctl restart Jenkins. All right. If all went well, we should come back here. And now it's forcing us to log in. So we can't access this page and get straight into the settings and guts of the program without authorization and authentication. Defensive layers do not have to be flashy. You can accomplish a lot with one-liners and simple implementation of security best practices. This is exactly what we done through this task, addressing a specific exploitable vulnerability each time. This task is a simple demonstration of how it works in real life. Each hardening step adds a defensive layer, and these layers work together to make a more defensive environment. Exploit one or two, and you're still relatively defensible. That's because the next layer is there to make it harder for the bad actors to succeed at what they want to get. Defense in depth doesn't start here. The next step is setting up tools and sensors that will give your defensive teams visibility over your environment, the output of which can be used to create automatic detection mechanisms for suspicious behavior, but that's a discussion for another time. Great work, team, says McConaughey, her eyes gleaming with pride. We've laid down the foundations of a robust defense, but remember, this is just the beginning. The cyber world is ever evolving, so must we. Stay sharp, stay curious. The team nods, a sense of accomplishment and readiness evident in their postures. They are no longer just reacting, they are anticipating, ready to tackle whatever challenges lay ahead in the ever changing cyber terrain. McConaughey Bell grabs her jacket, her thoughts already on the next challenge. Tomorrow we rise again. For now, rest well, team. You've earned it. And that concludes day 12 of the Advent of Cyber Challenge uh, on TryHackMe. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next day.